The detention of Greenwald's partner caused an outcry. Here are just some examples of the reaction. The journalist himself described the incident as intimidation. Reporters Without Borders called it unacceptable. Well, Amnesty International commented too, saying it was a petty and vindictive action on the UK's part. The Brazilian government also weighed in, slamming the unjustified detention of one of its citizens. Well, let's get more reaction now on this and talk to WikiLeaks spokesperson Kristen Hrafnsson, who's joining us from Reykjavik in Iceland. Mr. Hrafnsson, thank you so much for joining us here on RT. Well, my first question to you would be, was WikiLeaks surprised by the Guardian editor's revelations about British government pressuring them to give up or destroy data related to Snowden's leaks?
I was not surprised at all, and actually we have been warning about this for years. Let me remind you that 3 years ago, when WikiLeaks was under massive attack, even under death threats, and journalists in the mainstream media did not come to our defense or even work directly against us, we said, you should think twice because you are next. And that's exactly what has happened in the escalation in the war on journalism. We see the phone records of AP journalists in the States being seized. We see an attempt to brand in the US journalists who are working with whistleblowers as co-conspirators who could be prosecuted. And now we see this recent development in the UK. This is a part of an escalation against the freedom of the press, and we warned about this years ago.
Well, The Guardian was one of the first papers to publish WikiLeaks documents when they emerged. So have you heard of any, similar tactics carried out by governments before to pressure The Guardian or any other paper from publishing them?
We know, of course, about both the direct intimidations or acts of self-censorships by even media that we have been working with, even the New York Times, that has been reported on and admitted by the former editor of the New York Times, Bill Keller. So this is a concentrated attack on the media, not just media that we have been working with, but all media. And it's a very serious issue that people have to think carefully about, because in essence, this is a signal of a rise of fascism in the UK, in the US, and in more Western countries. I even see traces of that in my own country, Iceland, under the new conservative government.
Well, also we know that a few days ago, WikiLeaks posted a massive so-called insurance data, which can be decrypted should something happen to Julian Assange or Edward Snowden. So would you add journalists working with whistleblowers to that list?
Journalists that are working with whistleblowers are under attack. Whistleblowers have been under attack for years. Now it's the journalists that are under attack. And every journalist should stand up in defense of journalism. Unfortunately, we see part of journalists cowards that are not doing that, and even calling gleefully for a drone attack on Julian Assange, which is appalling. This is a very serious issue. We are seeing a trend here, as I said earlier, that people have to respond to very urgently and with strong measures.
Well, in light of what's happening, many seem to feel that the UK's government's actions are aimed at warning journalists against working with whistleblowers and releasing sensitive data. So what effect do you think it will really have, what's happening now?
It's not going to stop whistleblowers. More and more will come forth because people are appalled by the situation and the crackdown on journalism and the attempt to silence everybody who is exposing the wrongdoing of governments. There are people out there with enough bravery to take decisive steps. And let's hope there are enough journalists out there brave enough to respond to that. And then, of course, we have WikiLeaks and the ideals we stand for, and other organizations hopefully will come forth endorsing the same ideal. This is a big picture. It's a part of a big picture, a fight for the basic principles of freedom of speech and privacy. We have to fight against all attempts to suppress that.
All right, Kristen Hrafnsson, spokesperson for WikiLeaks, thank you so much for talking to us here on RT.